Good morning, world, and welcome to another episode of Hey, I'm Talking. Because hey, I'm talking. I just came up with a title. What was it? Trauma tricks, Brexit, and parenting. There you go. And so hopefully those are the subjects I'm going to cover in that order in this episode of Hey, I'm Talking. Trauma tricks. Now, I've written quite a bit about this on Facebook, in Facebook posts, and in Facebook groups, including Breathe, mental health support group, which is brilliant, run by Glenn. Love you, Glenn. And blah, blah. I always think, you see, what if somebody's seeing this for the first time and they have no idea? So my husband and I were violently attacked in an armed robbery, really, although not guns, knives and claw hammers, because that's better, in November last year. And it was a traumatic experience for us both, and it was a very physically traumatic experience for me as well as mentally, because they beat me up quite badly, me being the key holder and all. And fast forward through an horrific time on cocodamol and addiction and then withdrawal over a month. Don't touch them. To now having cognitive behavioural therapy through mental health services in Oldham, which are stellar, has to be said. And so I've been going to therapy with this lovely girl, and she's been fantastically dynamic, really amazingly dynamic. She has worked within the rules of her rules, but adapted to me. Anyway, we've come up with all these challenges, and they're challenges that I've kind of set for myself to get over stuff. But the last session I had with her was a really deep one, actually, because I was explaining to her that there were times, just really random, and it's just happened right now because I mentioned it, which is really weird. There are times when, for it might be a brief split second, it might be a few seconds, it might be extended, where I still feel like I don't feel like I'm on the floor with the guy's foot on my neck because I'm stood up, and I might be talking to somebody or listening to something or whatever, but the emotion of that moment and the pressure, not the pain, come back. So basically my therapist said, don't let him keep you on the floor anymore, Paul. And that hit me hard. Anyway, I went through this thing in my head. This is really random, but you know what? If it worked for me, it might work for you. You never know. I too put some of these pieces together in my, and it's worked for me to put some of these pieces together in my head. I have had to give an embodiment to the voice in my head that night that said to me, get up or he's going to kill you. To which I answered, I can't, it's too strong. To which I replied, use your legs, no one's on your fucking legs, kick up, kick up. And I kicked up and I got the bastard in the face, and he stepped back off me and he gave me just enough time to sit up and say, let me open the door. The plea being, you need me to get in here and rob this place. I'm no good down there dead. and it worked. I have now given that voice, the voice that was saying get up, the voice that said use your fucking legs, to this me now, the me who survived, the future me. Because I've got a movie mind, you know, things fit with me like they do in a movie. So when I was at work recently, I visualized myself on the floor and heard in my head the things in his head at that time. I can't. This is it. Blah, 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 blah. And then me, stood there now was the voice saying, get up, use your legs. And so the future me, here now, has played a very significant role in saving the victim me. And I'm not even getting emotional talking about it anymore. So that's kind of a bit of a, well, it's a major breakthrough. Never be, I suppose the crux of that is don't ever be shamed or feel ridiculous or even allow yourself to question too much about things that work for you. If they work for you, they work for you. And other people might think, you daft egg. That's stupid, that. Well, they can think that, can't they? Right, now we're going to move on to Brexit, the biggest pile of shit that has ever happened in the history of this country. Well, probably not in the history of this country. Something's just survived. Give me 1 second, because my door's only here. Oh, that was me thinking it was going to be a parcel or something. But no. So, yeah. It seems that every single article right now, even from the chief of Brexit, who arranged for the bus and who ploughed, I think, millions into the campaign, is now saying this might not be such a good idea. It seems that there are more people saying this might not be such a good idea after all now than ever, and yet the government still, the mockery is still ploughing ahead with this isolating, tiny island making, young person spirit crushing bullshit. And I think that's having an effect on us all, because what do? I'm doing this to just get it out there, because what else can you do? What else can you do? I'm signing petitions, I'm sharing articles, I'm still being called a left-wing loony and a terrorist sympathiser, and you know, people are stupid. There should have been a question on voting in the EU referendum, on going in, like, you know, 10 really valid points about leaving the EU. And so they say to you, what are your reasons for wanting to leave the EU? And if it's not one of those 10 valid points, if you say, well, I'm sick of all Muslims over here, like that middle-aged man did on the Channel 4 News interview in the street a couple of days after, then it should have been, well, actually, this is nothing to do with that, so you don't get to vote. Do I think it should be scrapped? Absolutely. Absolutely, it should be scrapped. It's one of the most ridiculous things that's ever happened in our history. There you go. And that's what I've got to say about Brexit. Then we move on to parenting. Parenting in a really broad spectrum, because parenting of children and parenting of ourselves. It seems that there is no... I know some people who I consider to be amazing parents, who are careful what books, films and TV their child watches, who are who engage in constructive play, who have structured bedtimes, who monitor sugar intake, who do all the right things that parenting is. And other parents look on them as, I've heard the term called helicopter parenting, where you're always kind of hovering and watching. That's good parenting, especially with small children. I know other parents whose kids are eating sugary things very late at night, who don't have a structured bedtime, who are not disciplined and just get away with leaving stuff all over the place and are not told, this is not what you do. You tidy this up. And to me, they're wrong, but it's like, oh, it's just a kid. It's the kid. Um, there's a lot of crap parenting out there, and I wish that the good parents would call out the bad parents more, because it needs to be done. But that also comes with parenting yourself as well, because we all need parenting. You know that story about the two wolves, the Cherokee Indian story about the was grandfather and grandson talking, and the grandfather tells his grandson, there are two wolves inside me. One of them is angry and evil and selfish and boxed and negative, blah, blah, blah. The other is intelligent and wise and soulful and kind and compassionate and empathic. And he says to his grandson, and these two wolves are constantly battling. They're constantly fighting each other. And the grandson says, oh, and he says, and you have the two wolves too. We all do. And so the grandson says, which wolf will win? And the grandfather says, the one you feed. Now, I love that, because it's just one of the, if you know me, you know that, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children, is a huge thing with me. All these little sayings that kind of the beautifully written and well-constructed stories, parables, but they hold such weight with us as humans, and they kind of just get dismissed sometimes as little nuggets of nothingness. Oh, that's sweet. No, they carry so much weight. There's been a lot of talk about this Love Island, and I'm not even going to watch it, because I can see just from the clips and from what people are saying about it what kind of show it is. So you've got a load of young people who are obsessed mainly with their looks, shagging, snogging, frigging each other over, lying, manipulating, and that's good television. That's the wolf you choose to feed. Because what you watch, it isn't just, everything has an impact on you. You can't just sit back and watch something and say, oh, it's just entertainment. Hence, as soon as Lorraine finishes in the morning, the second Jeremy Kyle starts, I switch over to Channel 5 and watch The Right Stuff, which is a great show with intelligent debate and interesting people and constantly changing guests and tackling the issues of the day, really, really, relevant issues. Jeremy Kyle gives a platform to scummery, to lying, cheating, drug-taking scummery. And I'm not saying all drug-taking is scummery. Don't get me wrong there. But that seems to give a and glamorises it. And surely if you watch that, you accept. I don't accept that. I will not accept that that is good or right or human. So I turn away from it. I'm not going to watch and support something that glamorises a part of human life I actually find despicable. So it's not just who you are as a person that feeds the wolf. It's what you watch, it's what you take in, it's what you accept from other people, what you accept from your friends and your family. you know, children being brung up wrong, people taking the piss out of the system. There's so much that we could all actively help to change by being more active humans. Veganism, that's the huge one. 3.5 years now for me and Jason. Best move we ever made. And, you know, we're activists. That's all this kind of stuff. Hey, I'm talking. And my live videos on Facebook. And please believe me when I say, if you're not my friend on Facebook, you should be. Or at least follow me over there. Because I do more live videos than I do recorded ones like this that I upload to YouTube. I'm a very spontaneous person. Is what it is. I think I've covered everything. Trauma tricks, Brexit, and parenting. Today is Thursday, the 6th of July, 2017. Tomorrow, Friday, the 7th of July, 2017. Miss Gemini is making her first, well, it's not really her first public appearance. Actually, it's because all the videos have been Theresa May and Mary Black and characters. So yeah, Gemini's first out, and she's been stuck in a bedroom with net but sex toys and gin for nigh on 14 years. God help you all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of Hey, I'm Talking. Thank you.